Welcome back, everybody. TJ McCormack, Community Manager for Roofer and the presenter of Rise, a Roofer Roadshow. Today, we're here with one of our great friends, Ben Tiger from Roof Tiger. He's going to be one of our spotlight speakers in the Minneapolis show coming up on June the 13th. So we're excited to have Ben here today. And Ben, dude, great to have you. I already see Diego Dante commenting. That was the fastest comment ever. It says the Roof Tiger's in the house, man. Tell us your name. Tell us the companies that you own and maybe a little bit about you.
Yeah, TJ, great to be on, dude. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm the founder of two companies, Roof Tiger and its sister company, Solar Panther. Roofing, obviously, and then solar. We do both. So 30 year in business, started in 2020, and things are rocking and rolling, dude. We're seeing a lot of growth. Company is evolving. We're having a lot of fun.
Nice. You know, I was excited to see you a couple of weeks ago at SolarCon. You were speaking on that great big stage, and I was like, dang, I want Ben to be on our stage first. But no, I'm proud of the accomplishments that you guys have you've had. And I've recognized that, and I hope you know that Roofer does as well. And
thank you.
Your guys are really kicking tail. And you know, Roof Tiger, the branding for Roof Tiger is what attracted not only roofers but many clients to your brand. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, and Roofer's been an amazing partner almost from day one. We started with Roofer. We found you guys probably a month or two after we began, and it's been an amazing partnership. So Roofers allowed us to scale because of their products and services, and I can't thank your guys' company enough. Right. Our branding is really kind of our central theme of who we are as a company. It's our truck wraps, the logo, and essentially how we show up in public is, we take a lot of pride in our work. And if you know anything about tigers, a group of tigers is called a pride. So I think that's it's the antithesis, or it's who we are as a company. Is we're very prideful in our work, and we take care of the public.
Nice. And you don't just do roofing anymore. Now with Solar Panther, you're doing the solar and the roof, which makes perfect sense. You and I had that conversation at SolarCon. You know, back in 2018, 2019, I don't remember what year it was, but I did a podcast with Matthew Danskin talking about this, and you know, we were really trying to figure out how to work together back then. And I still think that roofers and solar people are still trying to figure that out.
They are. The more that I'm in the industry, CJ, the more that I understand that the two industries are similar but very different.
Right.
I am not a roofer by trade. I'm not a solar person by trade. I consider myself an opportunist and an entrepreneur. And what I do, I think one of the best things about me as an entrepreneur is I just see opportunities and I attack them with fervor. So I continue to listen to feedback from my consumers and the city that I'm in, and people are talking about both of those products. When hail hits, they need a roofer and they need somebody they can trust, obviously. Then solar people are also, there's just as many issues with staff with other companies in the solar industry, just as much as we have in roofing. Right. So the need is there for solid contractors who care.
You know, there's a person in our industry that back a few years ago I didn't even know was that big into solar, but you know, TJ Ware. I'm not sure if you know who TJ Ware is.
I do.
Yeah, TJ is very big into the renewable space, and we used to have a ton of conversations about it. It was like you said, a niche trade for roofers back a few years ago. So to have a friend in the roofing industry now, even still, that somebody that understands solar or wants to teach about solar, man, I still love to listen. So, but yeah,
coming from your vantage point too, TJ, you've been in the industry for a long time and you understand contracting and the world that we're in. But I can guarantee you that when people have a good experience with you in anything roofing, that they're asking you questions like, hey, do you know a painter? Do you know this? Do you know that? And so when enough people start asking, do you know a solar guy, or can you install solar panels? You're like, well, why don't I just start a company and do this?
Yeah.
And just be exact same, show up the exact same in the solar field.
You know, we were having a conversation just before we went live on camera, talking about, you know, we're not going to talk about any specific insurance companies today, but we were talking about the insurance process for, you know, retail versus insurance. And in my experience, most of the time, whenever I'm helping a client who's gone through some storm damage, they don't want you to just do the roof. They're skeptical about who to use in general to begin with. But if they
Yes.
trust you as the roofer, they're going to trust you with all of the other trades as well if you prove to be a great contender. But even still, like if I don't know a great solar person, a painter, a window person, then I'm putting them at a disadvantage right away as well. So
Yes.
knowing who to call for what's on top of the house is always key. Tell me what one of the things is that you like to do that's not related to work at all. Do you have any things that you like to do on your off time?
Yeah, dude. So here we go. I'll show you. This is in my office, but I used to be a college tennis player.
Oh, really?
Yes, dude. And I stopped playing tennis years ago, but I recently picked up pickleball.
Pickleball.
Dude,
Yeah.
it is the sport. I freaking love pickleball. So
Yeah.
for any roofer out there who plays or anybody seen at conferences, if you play pickleball, bring your paddle. I
They're
love
saying
it.
it's the fastest growing sport in the world.
Yes.
And I believe that. And I've read some books about it. I've watched plenty of TikTok or other videos, people playing it. And there's a psychological effect of the sound that ball makes, I think, on people. Just like I compare it to going to casino and hearing all those sounds that makes you
Yes.
want to spend more money. Pickleball, like the sound makes you want to play more. So.
You know what's interesting? That one of the most unique things about pickleball, TJ, is that I've played a lot of sports in my life,
Yeah.
football and golf and tennis, all this stuff. Pickleball is a lot like golf, where an 80-year-old and a 20-year-old can play, and the 80-year-old could beat the 20-year-old.
Right.
Pickleball is one of those sports where obviously you have advantages on the pickleball court if you're younger and more agile, but hand-eye coordination and the actual sport itself, I've played with many 50 plus, 60 plus year olds who are exceptional at the sport. So it's cool because you go to a court and you might have, in my hometown gym, we have 40 people that will show up on a weekday. And dude, you should see the people. If you got them in a picture, all different walks of life are playing this sport together.
Wow.
So
my grandpa used to beat my tail in ping pong, so I can only imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, he was 60-something years old back then too. So, man, but it's still the same concept, just a bigger ball, bigger racket, right?
Yeah. Pickleball is a smaller racket. It's about compared to ping pong, you're absolutely right. It's a little bit about the same size as a tennis ball, but it's hard and amazing. If anybody hasn't played before, get out on the court and play.
My kid was asking me yesterday about tennis, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna stay away from tennis. Maybe we'll do some pickleball, right?"
Start pickleball.
Yeah. But no, man, that's awesome. Who's somebody that you look up to
in the roofing industry or in general?
Yeah, in general, it could be the roofing industry, and it could be just in life. Like I have people I look up to outside of the roofing industry.
So I started, you're probably the same way, TJ. I listen to a lot of TikTok, a lot of YouTube, a lot of Instagram of like motivational stuff to keep my mind right. What got me started on my journey a couple of years ago was definitely Gary V with content creation and just staying active. Jordan Peterson, Tucker Carlson, challenging the status quo. And then I started watching Dimitri's content in the roofing industry very early on. And so, yeah, man, it's a lot of people. I now I still listen to a lot of those people and just pick and pull from what I can and learn from them.
Gary V was, I started in the industry in 2015, right? But I went to a Storm Ventures group or Win the Storm back in 2017. I think it was 2017, right? And I met Gary V for the first time. And back then I was smoking cigarettes. And I didn't even know who Gary V was. And Gary V and I were standing there smoking a cigarette together.
Really?
And I literally sat there with him for 30 minutes, just having a real conversation before somebody came up to me and was like, "Do you know who this guy is?" And I'm like, "No." Like he said his name is Gary. "What's up, Gary?" Like I didn't even know. But Gary and I had a free 30-minute conversation while smoking some cigarettes back in the old days. But no, Gary is one of those people I look up to now as well. Especially in regards to content creation. I wish I would have known who he was then, but I wasn't even really that big into social then either.
Yes.
but
Yeah,
no,
but just even besides just the social stuff, just the
yeah,
tenacity about enjoying, like appreciating your life
yep,
and waking up every day with a fervor to do something positive. I really appreciate that mindset. And oftentimes as a business owner or as an entrepreneur, life is tough, dude. There's
yep,
situations and there's days you have to deal with that are not easy.
yeah,
This is not all sunshine and rainbows. Any
no,
entrepreneur will tell you that. So trying to keep your mind frame positive is exceptionally difficult, but necessary.
yeah. Yeah, no, you're totally right. I've got that same problem in my own self now,
Yeah.
where I've actually asked for that type of help. Where I try to ask, how do you get off of social media, or how do you stop
Yeah.
working? Because in my profession is now that I'm on social media, or I'm a content creator.
Yes.
If I stop working, the algorithm stops working with me, and it's not easy. It's like I compare it to an old engine where you had to crank it, and in order to get it to start back again, you had to do things to it to make it work.
Yes.
And that's just like with anything in life. If you stop doing something for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, it takes you a while to get back into the swing of things. So
TJ, when we first started Roof Tiger, I was producing a video every single day
yeah,
and going on stories and the same exact. I was essentially a content creator
yeah,
because I had no business to really operate.
right,
I was trying to penetrate the noise
right,
and become part of the public conversation. And I think I produced a video and content every single day for 75 days straight.
wow,
And dude, I feel the exact same way as what you've probably felt before,
yeah,
where it's like it's just you get exhausted.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's tough. It's very tough.
But it's exhausting, but it's also good work, and it does pay off.
It does.
The branding of yourself and your business. Although, like you said, it took you 75 days for people to recognize you to the point where you didn't have to create a video every day again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But same thing for me. It's not just one platform anymore. It's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's YouTube, it's Facebook, and then it's all of that times two.
Yeah.
And then caring about the algorithm for all of those. There are people out there that aren't content creators, that are roofers, right? They're doing another job out there in this world that's not content creation, so they see it as scary to
Yes.
produce content like us. But going back to what I was saying is that financially it's worth it if you can do it, or if you can take and put that extra time in for those
Yes.
3 to 4 months to get started.
I've watched your content for probably over a year now, TJ, and I know what you harp on with different roofers is just like take out the camera and do something. Like you
Yeah,
have to start. You have to
yeah,
start, and that's so very true. But I think maybe you've talked about this before. The core of the issue is a fear of rejection.
yeah,
What you don't want to do is put out a piece of content, put your heart into it, and somebody says, "Boo, this sucks," and you're
yeah,
like, "Bro, I really put a lot of effort into this, right?" And I think that's a deep fear that we all have of just not being liked by the people that we want to be liked by.
you
And
know.
so when you put yourself out there on the internet, that you're risking somebody's going to say this stinks.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling, and I've said this before as well. I would I would get eaten alive by comments on my post over the past, in the very beginning, up until like the first year or two in, where until I got to 200,000 followers. Karina said to me one day, she's like, TJ, there you have 200,000 people who love what you're doing, and there's one person having a bad day. And she's like, can you imagine if you're worried about what that one person has to say versus the 200,000 people that just liked that video?
No, it's true.
Right? So that goes not just in social media, that goes in all things in the world. But putting
Yes.
yourself on camera and proving that you're an expert in the field that you say you are,
Yeah.
it starts to scare people as to what other people think about them, right?
You're
So
absolutely right. Jordan Peterson talks about this, about the phrase "fake it till you make it."
yeah,
And the phrase is a bit disingenuous because it's you're not necessarily you essentially have to fake something to get to where you want to be. But when I entered into the roofing space and started talking about roofing, I had a very limited knowledge base of the construction effort itself.
yeah,
I just knew that I needed to be approaching the public and be known.
yeah,
And so I'm a good problem solver, and my team is exceptionally good at solving problems. So the term fake it till you make it, yes, it's kind of true. At the same time, when you just start acting on these things, like a roofer who's not doing content, if you just tell them, just start doing it,
Yeah.
you're almost rewiring your brain to say, this is who I am now.
Yeah.
Right. And then,
Yeah.
and then after 10 videos or 12 videos, you're like, yeah, maybe I am a content creator.
Right.
Maybe I am a core influencer. Maybe I am doing something positive. And then you start to see business off of it. And it's like, wait a second, this is profitable.
Yeah, it becomes a business then when you realize that creating content or creating brand recognition is doing something for you,
Yes.
and it makes you want to do more.
Yes.
It's gotten to the point in some instances for me personally, when I do a call to action, or a CTA video is what I call it, a call to action, where hundreds, if not thousands of people will answer that call for action.
Mhm.
And that's where it becomes fun, but then it doesn't become scalable because it takes so much time to answer each one of those people.
Yes.
And so you have to be ready for it. If you put it out there, like if you build it, they will come, right?
They will come. And then if you don't answer, I'll never forget, just going back to the thing, like we'll forget about the 99 people who love our product and the one person. I had one person last year, TJ, in September. I didn't get to her claim. I didn't call her back within 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
Once I responded, she said, "Oh, you were too slow. I went with somebody else." And I was like, "Oh my!" Like I was so mad at myself, you know.
Yeah.
But that's again, kicking yourself when things go wrong, or that's human nature, I suppose.
Yeah, I think I can't speak for the way that for people like Dimitri think, but I have a good understanding of what it's like to have a large following and to have the feeling of somewhat being lonely in this world,
Yeah.
as a content creator, because being a great content creator takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of understanding of how things work. But for somebody new, like even still being a content creator like I am, I get scared to get on camera sometimes, even still. And 300 million people have watched a video of mine. So it's all psychological.
It's also, I think the same can be said for being an entrepreneur, that when you own your own business, there's a certain level of loneliness that in a corporate job, where when I used to work used to work in a phone company, there was always somebody above me that I could go to and ask questions and get responses for. And when you're the owner of a company, there's no one above that you can go to. I have a great team around me, don't get me wrong, but there's certain decisions that the buck stops with you. And that situation, I think I speak for a lot of contractors when I say that can be very lonely at times.
It is. I own my own business as well, and I've done some things in the past where, like, you have to make those really tough decisions that could impact every single person's family that works for you.
Yes.
And it's discouraging. And the rough times are better than or harder than the good times, right?
At least maybe that's how we make it out to be in our own mind, right?
Right. And so it ends up becoming something in where you get deep into your own thoughts.
Yes.
Let's talk about this, man. What kind of marketing outside of the brand? Your branding is doing great, but what kind of marketing are you doing as a company?
We just signed up for Dope. Dope marketing. We're going to start doing direct mail postcards.
Nice.
For contractors, I think a lot of us have the same problems where we don't want to put in a ton of effort every single day to market our company.
Right.
So in my opinion, we should do things that last for long periods of time.
Right.
And that is, in my opinion, focusing on Google, because your Google reviews live forever. Focusing on truck wraps, where you wrap it one time and you have it for 5-10 years. Focusing on like having Dope Media take over the postcard sending, so that once I send a job through my CRM, it essentially will activate that postcard. I don't have to think about it as much.
Right.
The stuff that you're doing with content creation, that's the cherry on top. And it's also probably some of the most important, but it also takes some of the most effort.
Yeah.
To respond to comments and stay online and to do that stuff. It can be tiresome at times. So I think to build a good base of branding, obviously truck wraps are my number one. Doing some postcards and then focus on Google reviews. I tell people that all the time. Google reviews, truck wraps, Google reviews, truck wraps.
Do your salespeople wear Tiger pants as well, or no?
Yeah.
No, I'm wondering because that's a great idea. If not,
Well,
like,
it's funny you say that, TJ. After we get off this, I'll post a picture in the comments of the shoes that I bought my guys, but they're
oh
Tiger
wow.
shoes. Yeah, Tiger Stripe shoes.
I want a full outfit, full uniform. I'm willing to pay for it. So,
All right, cool. Yeah, I got you.
can I even get the one that says roofer on the
I got you. I have extra T-shirts. Yeah, you're a medium, aren't you?
well, medium large. Well, it depends on the month. Like, is it
Yeah.
winter? Is it summer? Right. But no, it's great. Are you finding it hard right now to make sales in your local community? I know you guys have had a storm recently.
Yeah.
Boy, you've had storms north of you. I'm not sure if really in your town.
We had about a 1-inch storm for a majority of our area, and so it's been heavy insurance recently. But even before then, TJ, we were trending up year over year for sales, and so the retail market, it's a compounding game where the more reviews you get on Google, the more jobs you do, the more your name gets out there, and then it just continues to compound. So yes, we were seeing retail jump year over year. Now that insurance has hit, it's madness. It's madness.
I know you guys use the instant estimator tool. How are you guys incorporating that? Like, is it working for the insurance side as well? Or is it just retail clients?
We do mostly retail clients. We essentially we don't use the retail model for insurance yet. So we're still exploring. So we're just essentially putting the cost back on the insurance company for insurance jobs. But for retail quotes, we use it. Yeah.
Nice. What is something that you tell your teams or you keep your team motivated? How are you keeping them motivated? It's the beginning of the season, and just coming out of a cold winter, and now we got a long summer, right?
Yes. A couple things. We work for pretty much like 9.5, 10 months really hard, and then we have kind of 2 months off in the wintertime. So I remind my team of that. The second thing is just building a really strong culture and having people that respect the position that they're in, but also respect the people around them. Our process is very definitive as to who takes the ball and when. And so if somebody's not keeping up with the position, they're really letting both people on the left and right of them down.
Right.
So it's really a culture thing of, are you staying and keeping the momentum going forward with the job and the process? And we have again, I'll say it for the fifth time, we have an exceptional staff. And so they care, they give a crap. So motivation is really internal, and they motivate me a lot of the time.
Yeah, man. It's great to have a team that motivates you and wants you to like come to work with them too, right?
It is.
And showing up for them every single day, even if you're having a bad day. Sorry, my Dalmatian is running around here. It's about to storm, so he gets a little crazy right before it storms. So I apologize. But you know what? Let's talk about this. How much would you say technology has changed what you do over the past few years?
Yeah.
And how you see it affecting our industry moving forward?
Well, roofer reports have been a game changer because I can essentially, obviously see the size of the roof, the scope of the roof before I even get there. But then implementing that into your process where you have a simple process to know exactly what to do. A lot of the contractors in my area, what they do is they will go to the job, hand measure, and then drop off a bid to the person maybe a couple days later.
Right.
If I'm thinking from a consumer's perspective, I'm calling a roofing company because I have a problem. You're not even solving the problem on the call to start with. You can't even make a transaction when you meet with me. So it's really, if I have a hole in my roof, I have to wait several steps to get the problem solved, where we are essentially utilizing technology to solve the problem as fast as possible. I firmly believe that the person fastest to the solution will win. And that's what we continue to do for our customers, is essentially quickness. And that's what technology has allowed us to do, is pull reports, create an estimate in our CRM, and then essentially schedule the job, get it ordered through ABC Supply. Happy to see they're a sponsor of the Roadshow. ABC Supply is everything to us here.
ABC is great. They're one of our partners now at Roofer, along with Goodleap, and we're really excited about that relationship. Proud of Danny. Danny's our partnership guy for making that happen. And you know what? ABC's a great sponsor too of this event. They couldn't be more happy with the Roofer product as well. But yeah, thanks for leading me into that. Real quick, let's talk about the Minneapolis show.
Yeah,
Minneapolis show is coming up on June the 13th. Excuse me. Let me just make sure June 13th. Sorry, looking at the wrong calendar here. June the 13th. It'll start about 10:30 in the morning.
cool.
It'll be myself, Pete McKendrick, Elizabeth Calzadia, you, Savannah Emerson from Renew Roofing in Wisconsin, Howard Hudson from North Face Construction up there in Minneapolis. And then, like I said, it'll be, let me just make sure, am I missing someone? No, Howard, you, Savannah. Yeah, we're all good. Yeah. And then we've had just over 100 people register for Minneapolis and as well as for Atlanta. So if you're out there watching right now and you need to know how to get tickets to that event, you should get them fairly quickly.
Definitely.
Don't wait any longer. Roofer.com, right in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, roofer.com/rise. We are charging $25 because we want to make sure that you're going to show up and eat the food that we put out. Some of the great things that that other people that have attended the Rise event are saying is that the engagement is really great. And then also Bob Marsh is a great closing finale speaker. And then the networking, that's what we really honed in on, how to be better or how to create a better networking experience. So
Nice.
it's going to be a lot of fun. And you know what? Let's close with this. Do you have a piece of advice or some words of wisdom that maybe you want to share to an aspiring roofing company owner, or maybe a salesperson out there today that needs some advice?
I'd say come to the Rise show. I've been to a couple conferences, TJ, and I think you can agree with this, that the information's one thing. People are going to learn from the speakers that are going to come, but the networking and the feeling that everybody is going through the same problems at the same time is very comforting.
Yeah.
Because when you go back to your office and you're feeling like sometimes the day is just really hard to climb, you know that every roofer that you've just networked with at that event is probably dealing with that same stuff.
Yeah.
So having a phone call away, I know you and I have talked outside of work and just chatted. It's nice to have that, man, to have like real friendships in the industry across the country. That some of these problems we deal with are the same, and no matter where you live. So we can talk about potential solutions. We can give each other advice. We can keep each other going on the up. So the information you're going to get is obviously going to be great. Roofer is going to be a tremendous partner in that, but also just the feeling that we're all in this together. The roofing industry is standing together. I love that part of it.
You know, the problem with a lot of the problem with the industry over the years has been people being way too competitive against their neighbors, right? Instead of thinking about it in a mindset of abundance. And this world is pretty abundant with 2.4 billion roofs to possibly change out, that none of us will change out in our entire lifetime. But to have a great friend in business is better than any competition with any one roofer ever, because you're going to put your heads together and you're going to make more money with two people versus just one, or you're going to have all of the things that you need or to learn. Excuse me. Sorry, there was a car that passed by. It's a squirrel outside. So, but no, we're looking forward to that event with you, and then also the other people involved. Thank you to my team, or the roofer team, for helping build that, and then ABC, Goodleap, Inc. Financial, Square Dash, Business 411, Company Cam. Like I'm going to keep going. Lead Scout, Coastal Claims, World's Greatest Roofer, Signs Global, Atlas. And then we have one more to add to this. Ugly Roof has signed on.
Nice.
But people see that vision of what we're talking about right now, of coming together, networking with one another, feeling like everybody is included in that conversation and nobody's better than one another. That was really the vision that I had, or we've had as a team, in building this event, that a lot of times we become a number with the big events. Now, don't get me wrong. We still love the big events. They're great. I love those as well. But being able to shake hands with everybody at an event, or talking to them, getting to share your phone number with them, or your story is what it's all about.
We're all real human beings at the end of this, TJ. And I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit.
Yeah.
That we will never take out the competitiveness of the
Yeah.
roofing industry.
Oh, really? You think so?
We will never do it.
Yeah.
And this is why the people
Yeah.
that get into this industry
Yeah.
have to be gritty.
Yeah. Oh, true.
We are gritty individuals. I know every business owner I've talked to is a gritty. We get after it.
Yeah.
So we won't ever take that away, but I think there's a level of respect that's raising
Right.
up. That's saying, you know what, man, I respect that person's vision. So
Yeah.
we will always be going after Tim Garrison from River City Roofing here in Peoria. I will never stop trying to chase him down.
Yeah.
But I respect him enough to say that. And so
there's a difference there with a level of respect versus going and stealing their signs, right?
Yeah, dude, that's true. That's very true. I don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely have had that stuff happen to me. So
yeah. I get that. I just I want everybody to feel like there's plenty of work to be done, but also who's going to be the best. That's definitely a great opportunity.
100%. We can all take ideas from each other, and that's 100% true. Is everybody kind of has a different angle at this industry, and I learn from everyone, man. If someone has a good idea, I'm copying it.
Well, dude, it's been so great talking to you today. Again, I want to be respectful of your time. I know that everybody got something out of this podcast style event today.
Yeah.
But looking forward to seeing you on June the 13th.
Likewise,
and again, if you guys are out there watching right now, June 13th, Minneapolis, June 15th in Atlanta.
Yes.
And we're going to bring the house down like we did in Fort Lauderdale and Houston. So we're looking forward to it. And come out and see Ben Tiger from Roof Tiger, and thank you, man. Hang on just for a second while I end the broadcast, and you and I can have some closing remarks. Hold on.
Excellent.